His shoulders slammed against the rotten door as it burst open, and he stumbled into the dark hallway gasping for breath. The wind outside screamed like something alive, but the sound inside the abandoned house swallowed everything, turning his heartbeat into the loudest thing he could hear. Jordan didn't want to look back. He already knew the shadow following him wasn't human. He could feel its breath on his neck, cold and hungry. He whispered to himself, "I shouldn't have come here. I shouldn't have listened," but his own voice shook too much to believe. He moved deeper inside, stepping over broken floorboards. The smell of wet earth and burnt wood choked the air. Lightning cracked through the shattered window, and for a split second, he saw the outline of a figure standing behind him, tall and crooked, its head bent at an unnatural angle. When the darkness returned, the figure was gone. Jordan's hand trembled as he reached for his phone. The screen flickered. No network, no light, just static crawling across it like thin white worms. He cursed under his breath. A voice drifted from the far room, soft and almost familiar. "Jordan, you came back for me?" He froze. His throat tightened. It sounded like Maya. But Maya died in this house last year. He knew it. Everyone knew it. He whispered, "That's not you, that's not you," but the voice called again, sweeter this time, "Jordan, you promised you'd never leave me alone." His legs moved before his mind agreed, pulling him through the corridor toward the sound. Something about hearing her voice again scraped at old guilt he thought he buried. He entered the living room, where moonlight dripped through the broken ceiling like white blood. The room felt colder than outside, impossibly colder. In the center of the floor sat a rocking chair, gently swaying though there was no wind. The chair stopped abruptly the moment he stepped inside. Then Maya's voice whispered right beside his ear, "Why didn't you help me?" Jordan spun around, swinging his arm through the air, but nothing was there. His breathing quickened. "Maya, if you're here, just show yourself. Just don't play like this. Please." The desperation in his voice cracked like old wood. He wasn't sure who he was begging, her spirit, his memories, or whatever dark thing had learned to mimic her voice. A low groan crawled up the walls as if the house itself responded. The temperature dropped again. Jordan's breath fogged in front of him. He staggered backward. The floorboards moaned under him, and something cold wrapped around his ankle. He yelped and kicked, stumbling away from the invisible grip. "Jordan?" Maya's voice became layered, distorted. "You left me, you watched me scream?" He shook his head violently. "No. I tried to get you out. I tried." His voice echoed off the cracked walls. Lightning flashed again, revealing a reflection in the dusty window. Maya standing behind him, her eyes hollow, her hair dripping like she drowned. He turned quickly, but she wasn't there. He clutched his chest, trying to steady himself. "I shouldn't have come back," he whispered. "I should have let the place burn." Something moved upstairs, slow, dragging footsteps. A second set followed. Then a third. Heavy. Wrong. Like something crawling on all fours with too many limbs. Jordan swallowed. "No, no, no, don't come down, please don't come down." His voice was barely audible. A whisper drifted down the stairs. "You came for the truth, didn't you?" It wasn't Maya this time. It wasn't even human. The words were deep, hollow, like they were spoken through a decaying throat. His trembling fingers tightened around. Jordan climbed the stairs slowly, each step groaning under his weight as if the house disliked his presence. Halfway up, the lights flickered out entirely, drowning everything in darkness thick enough to choke. His hand slid along the railing, but even the wood felt wrong, soft, pulsing faintly like it was breathing beneath his palm. His heart hammered. His breath came short. But something in him kept moving forward, even as his knees threatened to give out. "Maya?" he called gently into the darkness. "If you're here, if you can hear me, just talk to me. Just don't whisper like that. Don't scream. Please." A soft giggle floated through the stale air. It was Maya's giggle, the one she used when she teased him. But it was stretched, too long, turning playful into haunting. Jordan froze on the landing. His voice cracked. "Don't do that. You're scaring me." The giggle stopped instantly. Then her voice came, trembling and hurt. "You were scared the night I died too, weren't you?" Jordan closed his eyes tightly as pain stabbed through his chest. "Yes," he whispered. "I was terrified. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to leave you. I didn't want—" His voice broke. "I never wanted that." Thunder boomed outside, but he barely heard it. He stepped into the upstairs hallway, and immediately something felt wrong. The hallway stretched farther than it should have, 10, maybe 50 meters long, when he remembered it being barely 5. Portraits hung crooked on the walls, their faces scratched out violently. Some frames dripped a dark, tar-like liquid. Lightning flashed through a cracked skylight. In that brief illumination, Jordan saw a long shadow slinking along the ceiling, moving with unnatural fluidity before vanishing when the darkness returned. Jordan whispered, "Oh God." A door at the very end of the hall creaked open by itself, revealing a room bathed in flickering orange light, like firelight. Jordan's stomach twisted. "No," he breathed. "Not that room." He stepped slowly down the lengthened hallway, each footstep heavier, as if invisible hands tried to pull him back. He reached the doorway and placed his trembling fingers on the charred frame. The air grew hot, humid, suffocating. Inside, flames flickered along the walls, not real fire but illusions, memories, echoes. In the corner, the doorknob shook violently as if someone was trapped behind it. Maya's voice cried inside the room, desperate, terrified. "Jordan, help me. I'm burning, please, please help me." Jordan stumbled inside, shaking. "I'm here. Maya, I'm here." He reached for the handle but his hand passed straight through it like smoke. His breath hitched. "No, no, not again. Please don't make me watch this." The flames roared louder, engulfing the illusionary walls. Jordan felt heat lick his face, felt smoke filling his lungs even though none of it was real. Tears streamed down his cheeks. Her voice screamed again. "Jordan, don't leave me." He slammed his fist against the phantom door. "I didn't leave you. I'm trying. The flames suddenly snuffed out. The room fell into dead silence. Maya's screams cut off mid-cry, leaving an echo of her fears swirling around him. Jordan backed away, chest heaving. "Why are you showing me this?" he whispered. "What do you want from me?" A slow creak answered him. In the far corner of the now dark room, a shape unfolded itself from the shadows. First the head, tilted at an angle that should have broken the neck. Then long arms that dragged across the floor. Then legs that bent backward with wet snapping sounds. It lifted its head. Maya's face stared at him. But her eyes were wrong, empty, bottomless, filled with a darkness that swallowed the light. Jordan's voice came out as a broken whisper. "You're not her." The creature spoke through Maya's mouth. "But I can be. I remember her memories. Her voice. Her pain. I remember how you let her burn." Jordan staggered, shaking violently. "I didn't let her burn. I tried." The thing crawled forward on all fours, limbs bending grotesquely. "You tried, and failed. That is why you taste sweet to me." Jordan stumbled backward until his back hit the wall. "Taste? What are you?" "I am what grief feeds," the creature said, rising onto its twisted legs. "I am what guilt summons. I am what this house birthed when she died screaming your name." Its voice shifted back into Maya's trembling tone. "Stay with me, just stay, Jordan. Don't leave me again." Jordan shook his head rapidly, tears streaming down his face. "No. No, you're not her. Maya wouldn't want me trapped in a nightmare." The creature smiled, a wide, tearing smile that split the skin around its mouth. "She wanted you. Isn't that enough?" "Stop," Jordan pleaded. "Please stop." The creature's form flickered, revealing its true shape beneath the stolen face, a massive dark figure made of tangled limbs and shadows, dripping tar that hissed when it hit the floorboards. "You are mine," it growled. "Your guilt is mine." Jordan forced himself to stand tall even as his legs shook beneath him. "Take whatever you want," he whispered. "But stop using her voice." That made the creature pause. Its head tilted. The house groaned as if reacting to his defiance. The creature hissed, "You dare reject her? Reject me?" "I reject the lie," Jordan said firmly, voice trembling but steady. "I never abandoned her." The creature shrieked, a high, tearing sound that rattled the windows. The room stretched violently, walls bending and twisting as if the house itself screamed in rage. Then Maya's voice slipped through the chaos, soft and trembling. "Jordan, please stay with me. I don't want to be alone." Jordan's heart broke all over again. His voice cracked. "I wish I could. I wish I could stay with you forever. But you're not here anymore. And I can't bring you back." The illusion around him shattered. The burning walls, the screams, the flickering lights. Everything washed away in an explosion of darkness. Jordan found himself standing in a twisted hallway that didn't exist before. The creature loomed over him, taller now, more monstrous, its voice deeper and layered. "Then choose," it whispered. "Stay in this house with the memory of her, or leave it forever and face your loneliness." Images flashed all around him, Maya's smiling face, her laughing eyes, the way she held his hand. Illusions so real they tore at his heart. For a moment he faltered. "Jordan," Maya whispered gently. "Please. Don't leave me, again." He closed his eyes tightly. "You're not her," he whispered. "And I won't live in a lie." The illusions dissolved instantly. The creature shrieked again, shaking the entire house. The floor split. The walls twisted inward as if collapsing toward him. Jordan turned and ran as the house buckled around him, shadows clawing at his heels. Jordan sprinted down the twisting hallway as the house groaned like a dying animal behind him. Floorboards snapped under his feet, splinters cutting into his hands as he grabbed the railing and hurled himself down the staircase. The shadows crawled along the walls like living things, stretching toward him, whispering in Maya's fractured voice. "Jordan, come back, don't leave me again." He didn't dare look back, didn't dare slow down. The house warped around him, stretching and compressing like lungs struggling to breathe. The stairs dipped violently under his weight, forcing him to leap to avoid falling through them. He hit the landing hard and stumbled, pain shooting up his ankle. The front door, only a few steps away, suddenly shrank, pulling back deeper into the wall like the house was hiding it. Jordan cursed and pushed forward, ignoring the sharp ache in his leg. Behind him, something massive dropped from the ceiling. A wet, heavy thud. Jordan froze for a full second before slowly turning his head. The creature crouched at the top of the stairs, its long limbs bending around the banister like a spider repositioning its legs. It tilted its head, cracking its neck in a jagged motion as it fixed its hollow eyes on him. "You reject her," it hissed in a voice that sounded like 100 whispers layered together. "You reject us." Jordan stumbled backward. "I'm not rejecting her. I'm rejecting you." The creature crawled forward, first slowly then violently, its limbs slamming into the walls and floor, shaking the entire house. Its voice deepened, stretching into something ancient and furious. "You will stay," it growled. "You will stay with the memory you killed." Jordan bolted again, pushing toward the shrinking front door. He grabbed a fallen beam, thick and splintered, and rammed it at the shifting wall. The wood cracked through the weakening plaster, forcing the doorframe to stabilize for a moment. He didn't have time to think. He sprinted and hurled his body through the doorway as the creature lunged. Its claws skimmed the back of his jacket, ripping fabric and grazing his skin. Jordan flew into the muddy yard, hitting the ground so hard his teeth clacked together. The cold night air flooded back into his lungs. Rain soaked his clothes instantly. Lightning cracked overhead. For a brief, beautiful moment, he was outside. Then the wind stopped. Everything fell silent. Too silent. Jordan pushed himself up slowly, mud dripping from his hands. The door behind him creaked open by itself. The creature stood in the doorway, its silhouette massive, its edges flickering like flames. Rain didn't touch it, it stood untouched, unmoving, watching him. Jordan staggered backward. "Stay away from me." The creature stepped out onto the porch, though its shadow remained rooted inside, stretching unnaturally into the house's darkness. "Your guilt is still mine," it whispered. "You cannot escape what binds you." Jordan's hand trembled as it moved instinctively to his pocket. The necklace. Maya's necklace, the small silver one she always wore, the one he found weeks after her death, half melted in the rubble. He had kept it with him ever since, afraid to let go of the last piece of her. He clutched it tightly. The metal was cold against his skin. The creature paused. Jordan swallowed hard. "Maya," he whispered, not to the creature but to the night, to whatever part of her still lingered in the world. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I couldn't save you. I'm sorry I wasn't strong enough. But I loved you. I still do. And I can't keep punishing myself." The creature tilted its head, its voice suddenly soft. Maya's whisper. "Don't leave me again." Jordan's tears mixed with the rain on his cheeks. "I'm not leaving you," he whispered. "I'm letting you go." A sudden gust of wind ripped through the clearing. The trees bent. The grass flattened. The necklace in his hand grew warm, hot even, as if responding to his words. The creature recoiled sharply, stumbling back toward the porch. Its voice broke into a shrill, warping cry. "No, she is mine. Her fear is mine." Jordan held the necklace out in front of him. It glowed faintly, a small sphere of white light pulsing at its center. The creature screamed, a raw, guttural sound that shook the windows of the decrepit house. The house began to collapse inward. Not falling, but folding like paper crumpling into a fist. The walls buckled. The roof sagged. Windows shattered outward, spraying glass across the mud. Jordan shielded his eyes as wind roared around him. The creature lunged in desperation, but the moment its claws grazed the glowing necklace, its body shattered like smoke in a violent gale. The shadow tore apart, breaking into hundreds of smaller wisps that whirled through the air before dissolving entirely. The house gave a final groan, long exhausted, before collapsing into a heap of splintered wood and ash. The glowing necklace dimmed and cooled in Jordan's hand, the warmth fading. Then, through the roar of the collapsing structure, came a whisper. So faint Jordan almost thought he imagined it. "Thank you." Maya's voice. Soft. Free. Jordan fell to his knees, sobbing into the mud. Relief and grief crashed through him in equal measure. The rain washed down his face, soaking his hair, mixing with his tears. His arms hung loosely at his sides, the necklace dangling from his fingers. Minutes passed. Slowly his breathing steadied. His body trembled less. He rose shakily to his feet, staring at the smoldering remains of the house. No shadows. No whispers. Nothing left but ash and rain. He whispered, "Goodbye, Maya." Then he turned and began walking down the muddy path toward the road. Each step felt heavy but freeing, like he was dragging chains that were finally starting to break. As he reached the old fence, he paused briefly and looked back. Nothing moved. No creature. No house. Just darkness and ruins. Jordan let out a shaky breath and turned away. But as he walked, the camera of the night, unseen, patient, lingered on the pile of ash. A shadow flickered. Barely noticeable. A sliver of darkness that didn't belong to any tree, any cloud, any shape. It stretched, then slowly slid behind what remained of the porch. Waiting. Watching. And the wind carried a faint whisper, too soft for Jordan to hear. "I'm not finished."